Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is an international call. We've got people from all over the world on the call. On today's training, we've got something a bit different. Ray is going to be doing all the heavy lifting today. So he's got a very interesting subject to talk with you through on today's training. So I'll just basically, without further ado, introduce you to Ray. For those of you that don't know him, he is a very experienced business builder. He's been in the industry for 37 years. He's been the #1 income earner with three previous businesses. He literally started this business from scratch and is already building a phenomenal team and well on his way to going to director. In fact, we're hoping that he's going to go director in the next few weeks, hopefully. Like most leaders out there, very typical, he's on it, working the business flat out, building as fast as he can. He's also got an interesting perspective from being a successful traditional business person as well. He runs a very successful software company, so he sees both sides of the fence. And let me tell you, he's extremely excited with what's happening with CashFX. So let me pass you over to Ray. He's got a very, very good training session for you today.
Good morning, everyone. Very nice to be back again. As you guys know, I was off last week and Richard delivered a fantastic and very interesting training last week. I found it fascinating to hear the perspective of other people, other leaders in the business, because you can always learn something by listening to a leader in the business. And what I hope today to do is to bring you some knowledge that perhaps you're not aware of. You know, sometimes we look at the Power Build system and see how we can advance that, but other times what we try and do is give you some knowledge that helps you grow both as a business person and as a leader. And I think today is one of those days where we can bring you some information that will give you a perspective on your business that perhaps you didn't have before. So what I want to talk to you today about is business building and using something called leverage to scale up your business. Now, you may not understand those terms right now, but hopefully by the end of today's session, you'll have a grasp of them and an understanding of them, because they're key to building a big business, not just a big CashFX business, but they're key to any kind of business. So we've used leverage to scale in my software company, and there are plenty of other businesses out there that have used leverage to scale up the business. Now, it's a fact that there is a massive problem with your business. You're not aware of what it is, but there is a problem. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is. It's you. You're the problem. Okay? And the reason that you're the problem is there's one of you. That's the reason that you're the problem with your business. Okay? Now, I want you to imagine that you're a chocolate maker. My wife loves chocolate. She's a chocoholic. And you've invented the world's best tasting chocolate. And so you set up shop and you start selling your chocolate. And things go great and you're making good profits. Okay, so you're making money, your chocolate's selling like hotcakes, and you're making good profits. And then the demand, in other words, the buyer's desire for your chocolate goes through the roof in a town where you don't have a shop. In other words, somebody's told somebody, and that person from that town wants your chocolate and can't get to your town. And this is where the problem of only one of you manifests itself. This is where it becomes an issue. And it becomes an issue because you need to duplicate you. Because you can't be in two places at the same time to sell your best-selling chocolate to eager customers, can you? You can't duplicate yourself to be in those two places. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could do that? We could just make carbon copies of ourselves to be in hundreds of places. But the physical reality of that is that we can't do that. So what's the solution to that? Well, the only solution where you want to have a bigger business in other places where you can't duplicate yourself is to hire staff. For example, in this case, to run your other chocolate shop in your other town. Okay. So that's the solution. You need more people. You need help. You need a team. So to scale up your business, and when we talk about scaling up, we're talking about growing a business. Scale is where you take a business from 1 person to 10 people, to 100 people, to 1,000 people, to 10,000 people. That's scaling up, okay? And that scaling up process brings with it, particularly in traditional business, it brings its own headaches, okay? Brings its own problems. But this process of leveraging the time and skills of people to grow your business is called scaling. I'm just going to revisit that. The process of leveraging the time and skills of other people to grow your business is called scaling your business, okay? So you're using the time and skills of other people. So you're leveraging that in order to grow your business, okay? So leveraging to scale. And when there is only one of you, it is impossible to scale your business without leveraging. These are symbiotic words. Symbiotic means that they work hand in hand alongside each other. They're part of the same thing. So if there's only one of you in the business, it's impossible to scale your business without leveraging the time and skills of other people to scale your business. So in order to open up your second chocolate shop, you would need to leverage the time of other people. And these other people would be staff, okay? But that in itself brings a problem, because you have to pay the cost of buying that leverage in the form of salary. You can get the leverage to scale you want, but you as the owner of the business, you have to pay for that in the form of salary. Because nobody's going to come and work in your chocolate shop for free, are they? No, they're not. Nobody's going to come and work in your chocolate shop for free. So therefore you have to pay for it. And, you know, people will come along and they'll say, I want a job. I can work in your chocolate shop. I can serve your customers with chocolates, but I want to be paid for that because I'm not a charity and I've got to pay bills and look after my kids and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So that's the cost. That's one of the costs of leverage, salary. But it's a fact that the more you can leverage people's time for money, the larger you can scale up. In other words, if you can build a big team of people to work with you and alongside you, you can scale a business to infinitesimal heights. If you don't know who the man in the picture is, it's Warren Buffett. He's the world's greatest investor. He employs hundreds of thousands of people, okay? And he made the statement, the more you can leverage people's time for money, the larger you can scale up. The owners of large businesses leverage other people's time to create the ability to scale. They understand from the get-go that they're never going to do this on their own. When my business partner and I started our software business, we knew, even though I'm a developer and a designer, we knew that we would need other people. And we now employ nearly 40 people in our business to do different things, because there's only me and there's only Barry, my business partner, and there's only one of us each, and we can't be in all things, in all places at all times. So we leveraged other people's time in the form of salary to create the ability to scale our software company, and it scaled. So there is, to give you the ultimate example of this, there is one company that leverages the time of 798,000 people in its day-to-day operations. But the reality is that business started with one man in a garage, and that business is Amazon. Jeff Bezos, the guy that owns Amazon, started Amazon from his parents' garage in July 1995. That's 15 years ago, okay? And Jeff understood from the outset. He knew that he would have to employ other people. He would have to leverage their time for money in order to make Amazon what it is today, okay? And there's a picture of Jeff, I think that was about 1996, 97, when he worked out of his first office. You know, look at it. He's got a desk that he built himself, using a crappy old second-hand computer. You know, and the place looked like a bomb's hit it. But today, Amazon has used leverage of employing those 798,000 people to become an $87.4 billion business. I can guarantee that Jeff Bezos' office doesn't look like that anymore. I mean, the man's got a boat that's worth 500 million. So his office definitely doesn't look like that anymore, because Jeff understood from the get-go what leverage was. He understood leverage, and leverage comes in many forms, but we're just talking about leverage in terms of bringing the time and skills of other people into your business. In other words, building a team here. Okay. Now, it's a fact that the CEOs of massive companies are rarely found servicing customers. Then you won't find Jeff Bezos on the factory floor of an Amazon distribution warehouse packing boxes, because that's not effective leverage. What Jeff Bezos does is he leads the business. He guides the business. He directs the business. He has a vision for the business, and he imparts that vision to the leaders that work with him, and they impart that vision to the leaders that work with them, and they impart that vision to the leaders that work with them, and so on and so forth, from Jeff Bezos at the top all the way down to the guys on the distribution floor. That vision of the company is imparted. I'm not saying Amazon are the best company in the world, but what you can't take away from Jeff Bezos is that he's become a billionaire because he understood leverage. He understood the power of leveraging other people's time in exchange for money. Okay. And that's why you never see Jeff Bezos packing boxes at Amazon. That's not his job. His job is to lead, grow, scale a business through leverage. Okay. And it's true here that if you look at every leader in CashFX, you will see a person who has leveraged not only their time effectively, but the time of other people. And the way that they've done that is they've built a team. If you look at John Kinnear and Richard and Martin Arena and myriad other leaders in the business, including myself, how have we built the business? How have we built it? What we've done is we've understood from the get-go that we need to build a team. And the most amazing thing about CashFX and this model of business is that we can effectively join this business, and we can go and talk to somebody, and we can share the vision with that person. And that person, if they catch the vision, they can effectively double the size of our team at no cost, because they go, I like the vision, I'm going to get involved in that. So the first time you bring somebody into your CashFX business, you are leveraging their time and skills, but amazingly, you're doing that at no cost to you. So unlike a traditional business model, you don't have to lay out the salary, because CFX, the company, will take care of that part of it for you. So that's a massive, massive advantage. Now you can leverage without the cost of the scale. Okay, you can leverage at zero cost. The other thing is, the moment you introduce another person into your business, you're duplicating yourself. You're becoming that chocolate shop owner who's opening another chocolate shop in another place. You're duplicating yourself. And any leader will tell you that duplication is the key to success. And duplication comes in many, many forms. It can come in the form of duplicating systems. It can come in the form of duplicating a model of a business. It can come in the form of duplicating people. Okay. But duplicating yourself and the system by building a team is the ultimate way to leverage. Okay. And I can't stress enough. Okay. You look at any leader in CashFX and you go and talk to them. In fact, Richard and I were talking about this a few moments before we came on today. Ask any leader about what they did when they first got involved in CashFX, and they will tell you, I didn't read the pay plan. I didn't need to know all the ins and outs of the business. I didn't need to know all the financial details of Huáscar López. I didn't need to know if the company was registered in London, Zurich, Geneva, Washington, Canadian, Vancouver. I didn't need to know any of that. All I needed to know was how to duplicate myself and use leverage to build my business. Because when I got involved, the first thing I did was I leveraged by duplicating people into my team, build more leverage, help them build leverage, leverage, okay? And the best example I can give you, and I haven't got a graphic for it, imagine you've got a massive stone called huge success, and you're trying to lever it off the ground. And you've got a big lever over a rock, and you're trying to leverage this massive rock called huge success off the ground. On your own, you're going to struggle. If there's 2 of you, it might be a little bit easier. If there's 10 of you, it's going to get a lot easier. If there's 1,000 of you, it's going to get very, very easy to leverage that big stone called huge success up into the air. And that's exactly what you've got here with CashFX. Do you think there's some sort of magic formula that people like Richard and Martin and John and myself and other people in the business have? No, we don't have any magic formula. We don't have any magic skills. We just have a leverage mindset. We just have a mindset that says, I'm not going to bother reading the pay plan today. I'm not going to bother knowing all the ins and outs of this business. I'm going to go and find somebody to work with. I'm going to go and duplicate myself today. And then tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing. And the day after I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to help the first person duplicate himself. And then help him duplicate another person and help him duplicate another person. There's the leverage, folks. By doing that every day, you're going to be using massive leverage and you're going to end up with a massively scaled business. I've been in this business on the 13th of this month. I've been in this business 6 months. I've got a team of over 1,000 people. I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm just saying it to impress upon you that I've understood leverage. My team is growing nearly 100 people a week now because those people are leveraging and those people are leveraging. And I know that my business will scale and grow because of that. So on September the 19th, my business turned over $1 million. So in the first 5 months, I turned over $1 million. Now, 4 weeks later, well, 3.5 weeks later, I'm about to hit $2 million turnover in my team. So my first million turnover took 5 months. My second million is going to take about 4 weeks. So how long is my third million turnover going to be? How long is my fourth million? Do you see where the scale is based on the leverage? So the bigger my team gets, the bigger your team gets, the faster your business will grow, the faster it will scale up. And the turnover in your business equates to an increase in income. The more turnover you've got, the more money you're going to make in your business. And these are principles that apply not only to CashFX, but to any business you care to enter into. These are standard business principles. So look at every leader in CashFX and you will see a person who leveraged their time effectively by building a team. If you go to those people and say, how did you do it? Richard will tell you, I leveraged by building a team. If you talk to John, he'll say, I leveraged by building a team. Talk to Martin, I leveraged by building a team. If you talk to me, I go, I leveraged by building a team. So I'm going to encourage you, if you're sat on the fence waiting to see if it works, inverted commas, there's thousands of people in CashFX that are making it work, that will tell you it works because they're not sitting on the fence waiting for it to work. Okay. If you're one of those guys or girls, Stop waiting. Get out and start duplicating yourself. Use that leverage to build a team. If you use leverage to build a team, your business will scale beyond anything you ever imagined. Look at Richard, 14 months in the business, in the President's Club, has actually earned $1 million out of this business in a year, just over a year. That's a phenomenal achievement. How's he done it? I can tell you, Richard understands leverage. That's about all I have for you today. I hope that's been useful to you. As always, the video will be put up in a couple of days for you to review. But the faster you understand leverage and how to duplicate yourself by building a team to get the leverage you want, to build the scale you want in your business, the more successful you'll be faster. And I'm going to thank you for your time and hand you back to Richard. Thank you.
Thanks, Ray. Brilliant presentation as always. And just to sort of add some of my own thoughts on this, this is what appealed to me when I was first introduced to network marketing. I was a corporate sales director at the time in the City of London, making a very serious income, and yet I wasn't happy with it. And I couldn't understand at the time, but every year I just felt that I wasn't going anywhere. Every year I'd get my big salary. Every January I'd be starting all over again, looking at the year thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to do it all over again to make money. And I was kind of leveraged, obviously as a sales director, I did have a sales team, but it's a different kind of leverage, that kind of thing. So when I was introduced to a concept of building a team where everyone is motivated to build their own team and create leverage, I absolutely loved that concept. And I jumped in with both feet. So key thing with this, you know, there was the great example of Bezos and Amazon, the fact that, you know, he's created that leverage and he's treated that business like a real business. He's treated it very seriously. He's put in the effort. You've heard me talk about this in the past, the fact that so many people come into network marketing opportunity, and what they do is, I don't know what it is, they just think it's some kind of sort of little part-time thing or whatever, and they treat it like a little part-time thing. You know, that they get to the end of the week, they might have spoken to one person or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, guys. If that's your ambition, just to have a little bit of extra money coming in, then this is very much that kind of business, particularly the fact that our product makes people money. And as of next month, we'll also be able to train you how to make money from the Forex market if you want to as well. But if your goal is to make a lot of money, and let me tell you, this business is a great leveler. You know, if you look at the top income earners in CashFX, they're from all over the world, completely different backgrounds, completely different personalities, completely different ages. We've got people in their 70s doing phenomenally well with the business. You know, so it's really just down to the individual. Again, Ray and I was talking about this earlier. You know, we've actually developed the tools and the systems and the training and everything you could want, everything you could need to go and build a business. Right now, we're in a marketplace that is crying out for CFX. If you think about it, historically, network marketing companies have always done well in times of recession because it's a wake-up call for people that felt comfortable with a job and they felt that was fine, they were secure, which is the biggest lie out there. The fact that you're secure with the job, you really, really are not. And unfortunately, this is something that is going to be a real wake-up call as we go into next year, particularly if lockdown comes back. We're going to see, you know, potentially unemployment in the UK as high as 10%, for example. So people are really going to be looking for a way of making money. And what are we offering here with CashFX? An amazing way of making money with no upfront fees, no monthly fees. So it couldn't be better. So you've got the marketplace. You've got a marketplace that is crying out for it. You've got a company that now has a 15-month track record of success. We're about to get copy trading. We're about to get the Academy program. We're about to get the $2.2 million headquarters. I mean, it really, really doesn't get better than that. And you've got the tools, as I've already said, to build the business. So, you know, the problem is you, as Ray said, you know, it's down to you. What do you really want from CashFX? If you really want to make a lot of money, And let me tell you, there are going to be leaders in this business making millions of dollars a week in the coming years. So it is worth the effort. As you know, I keep going back to this, the due diligence on the company stacks up across the board. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. In fact, I was talking to a top financier the other day. He ran a £500 million city fund. And he's looked into CFX from top to bottom over 6 months. He's looked at every aspect of this, way beyond what I could look into it. He's actually employed people to look into the company. And he said to me, Richard, I'm so excited about these guys and what they're doing. This is going to completely revolutionize, the market. And he's talking about bringing in people that with a toe in the water when we get the copy trading are going to come in with $3 million. So this is the kind of thing people now understand, that CFX is real. It's taken a while for people to get their head around it, but they're now starting. And, we're seeing that in the growth of the business. My leverage now is nearly at 40,000 people. We're growing by around 10,000 people a month now. And when we get copy trading, that will probably double. Next year, we haven't even hit momentum yet. Next year, we're going to see huge growth when we get all those things in place. So you are in a remarkable place. You really are right in at the beginning of a company that is going to be absolutely massive. So it's up to you. You can go out there, create that leverage, and we've given you the tools. We've given you the systems, given you the understanding that it is just a sifting game. Not everyone uses Amazon. Not everyone, for example, uses Tesco's here in the UK, the big superstore in the UK, but they're doing all right. They're doing all right. So that's the point. We're not going to get everyone, but you don't have to. Just go out there, use the tools, sift, activity. I was on a call yesterday with some leaders, and I was asked, what is the most important thing that you can do? And that is activity. You look at all the top leaders, they are on it. They're treating their business like a real business. So they're treating it as if they've got overheads to pay. They're not having a lie-in. They're getting up, they're working really hard. And the key thing about this business is that you work hard for 1, 2, 3 years, depending on if you've been in the industry before. If you're brand new, it's probably going to take you up to 3 years to really get to the top levels. But if you put in the effort, it's worth it, because once you get to the top levels, that's it. Remember, you're leveraged. And that's the beauty of the business. Those 40,000 people in my organization, they're not going to stop if I take a day off. They're going to carry on building their businesses and so on and so forth. So, it's the same thing. It's never about, us as leaders. It's about the people in our teams. I couldn't be where I am without you guys. That's the whole point. And you can't, if you decide you want to build yourself through the ranks, you can't get anywhere without the people in your organization. So this is a really powerful training just to get you to understand what you need to do. And you build that leverage just by activity. Again, this is another thing that's very close to my heart. I see people do this all the time. They're detail. I need to know this. I need to be perfect before I go and show anyone. No, you don't. Often my most successful time in building a business is when I'm complete ignorance on fire. Yes, I've done my due diligence. I know it stacks up. I wouldn't go into anything without doing that. However, I don't necessarily know everything about the rewards plan. I don't know, detail here, detail there. Often, as I say to people, if someone's going on to me about, I need to know this and that and the other, I say, well, I know about that, but I can show you how to make money if you like. That's the bottom line. And you make money in this business by referring people and building a team. That's the bottom line. Everything else will follow. Don't expect to be perfect. You learn on the job, which is another great thing. If you're talking to people, they ask you a question you don't know, that's where you talk to your upline, because they've got the experience to be able to help you there. So once again, I must reiterate, you've got probably, I know you've got the best opportunity I've ever seen in network marketing history right now. You're in the right place at the right time. So make sure you get out there and start building a team and create that leverage. So thanks very much for listening in, guys. I hope you found that interesting. As I said, we do try and do things, not the same thing every week, do something a bit different. So I hope you found that helpful. So have a great the rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye.